is that when you unpack a bike out of the box, invariably one of these connectors will be undone. You might not notice it, it'll just be amongst all these, and it's deliberate. The factory do it deliberately so that the bike cannot get accidentally powered whilst it's in transit. So if you assemble any one of the bikes and it's dead, come up to here and have a look. It's usually one of these two here that they'll just have it disconnected. Very common call that I've had lots of. I've just put the bike together and it's stone dead. But the Booty, which is our new little folding bike, just has a rear rack battery like this. And the same as this, it has a little switch under here. And on the STs we call it the secret switch. There it is there. It's a little rocker switch. On the Booty, it's a little push button, little red push button switch. You've got to get right underneath it to see it. What happens is, you'll assemble the bike stone dead. That switch needs to be pressed. The more common problem is, and it was very much a problem with this model, your customer's out on a ride, they're 10 k's from home, they hop off the bike to get a cup of coffee or something, they put it on the stand, and they move the bike a little bit, inadvertently clicking the switch. They have their coffee, they get back on the bike dead. They're on the phone straight away. I'm 10 k's from home, my bike's dead, what are you going to do about it? So please be aware of that one. Another common phone call I've been getting, and I've experienced with my own customers, on the Traverses and the Roams, or any of the bikes that have this headset, there's a creaking noise when you're putting weight on the handlebars and riding it. It sounds like a creaking noise. This 5mm bolt here it hasn't actually come loose. It's just that the whole assembly is seated in a little bit. What I find is if you put an Allen key in there and try and tighten it, it'll feel tight. You think, well, that's not the problem. But if you loosen it off, give this a bit of a wriggle to seat things, and then lock it up tight, solves the problem. The light bracket is actually on the front of the bridge here. I always like to change it and do what I've done on this one and put it behind. The reason is it hides this wiring, the light wire, which is a very lightweight wire. It's got little tiny push-in spade connectors, and they are very prone to catching on. These wires gets caught when they're lifting the bike, moving the bike, or even on passing something, walking past it, carrying something. They accidentally grab that wire and it'll break the connectors out. So I like to put the light on the back of the bridge, like I have on this one. You can see a lot of them that are on the front. So when you assemble, the Booty comes out assembled with it that way also, but we can do that when we assemble one. On the Booty, they've actually put the bracket, the mudguard bracket, on the front. It should be on the back. So when you're changing the light, change the bracket as well. It's this quick release system for the handlebars. So you can do this, you've got this, and you've got this. You can play with it, you can have it anywhere you like. Clips in like that. Great system. Ken's going to demonstrate though, when you unpack one of these and set it up, you do need to do some work around this quick release system. The short story is that they're not always tightened up as they should be, and they haven't got thread lock on bolts under here, but Ken will do this anyway. Yep. But what I want to mention is when you unpack one of these out of the box, all this is wrapped up in foam and it's hanging down, well, it's taped to here. On here, there's a little white plastic tube. On the top of that tube, there's a little screw, plastic washer. Often they're already broken in transit, but whatever you do, don't undo that screw until you've got the front wheel on the bike.
We were talking about adjusting headsets yesterday, how you loosen these, tighten down the top cap. Well, there's no top cap on this one. Yes.
Yeah.
If you open this,
It's down there.
you have to tip it right forward.
Yeah.
And you can poke an Allen key down there, and the same bolt's there. So it's the same technique. It's just that top cap bolt's hidden down.
It's hidden down that tube, and you can't do it like that. You can't tighten that up. You've got to put this fully forward. You can actually see it when you get it this. If you go too far forward, you won't line up either. You've just got to get that right, but Ken will probably cover that, because you've got to tighten this one, that one, and these here, as Bill explained yesterday, you can't do this without loosening these off, otherwise you're pulling against the whole thing.